Well, hello, folks. It's Friday. It's after 9 on Friday morning, the 9th of January. Cheers. So, I had technical difficulties. It had to get a hold of my internet server this morning and go through some technical things to get back online. Here I am. Cheers. We'll try to get back to normal today. Um, we'll just try to keep going, okay? These are strange, strange times. Very disconcerting. So, what's going on is that I went ahead and signed up for Zoom for a year. I haven't contacted Richard again. It's like I'll probably drop him a message today and see, when he wants to get on next. Cheers. But in the meantime, I have been re-listening to a lot of music. Played this Hatfield on the North live, 1990. Even after I bought this years ago, I really never had a listen where it's like I'm really getting into this. And part of it was because Dave Stewart's not on here, which is no reason to not. Because it's Hatfield on the North with a woman named Sophia Domanchik doing a fine job on keyboards. But it's the rest of the band. It's Phil Miller, Pip Pyle, and Richard Sinclair. And those guys apparently go back to childhood as knowing each other and friends, which I think is a wonderful connection for them to share. And again, to me, it seems it informs the ambience of the music from Canterbury in general, even though Richard himself says there was no Canterbury scene. People just knew each other, and some didn't. So I'll drop him a line here today to see, to see when we want to get talk again. At first it seemed like it was going to be something like really exclusive and rare, and it's like I get the feeling he said, just give me a call. You're my new friend, and I love that. I love that. So what's going on is tomorrow the ambient night is not being held at Carriage House like last time. It's being held at another place. There's no formal announcement of who's playing. I don't know who all is playing. I kind of like this. It's at the Second Unitarian Church, and it's being billed as an ambient night, but come and spend time with friends, relaxing with calming sounds, with the organizer's friends. That's how it's being billed. I kind of like that. I have a new piece of music to present for it. So I always like that. That's always fun. When we have new stuff to present, that's always fun. Okay, so as far as listening, other than myself, because I am, don't go lie, boy, it's a gift. I'm really enjoying the process of writing, and I am pushing myself. Okay, so there's 3 chord changes. Let's find another one. Let's take the melody further, and so I'm doing that. But listening wise, I have some records down here. Last night, what I played, a couple sides of, was Hot Chip, The Warning. Time and life is so concentrated these days that what used to seem like 20 years seemed like a long time when I was a kid. And now you look back and it's like 20 years. It was 20 years ago this came out? Really? 2006 is when this came out. 20 years ago. Doesn't feel like it. It doesn't sound like it. Sounds ever present. I really like Hot Chip. And when I first heard them, their first album, I was struck with the oddness. It was funky, but it was that there was a Devo. It was partly because of the way that they looked, with their geeky white boy look. But it was also, the band was embracing it. You know, we can't be as funky as Prince, but we love Prince, and so we're going to be as funky as we can be, which has made the band unique. I've seen Hot Chip live. They kicked it live. They killed it. They were great. So I like Hot Chip. After revisiting the new Peter Gabriel song, which it's not growing on me. I get what Peter Gabriel is doing. I'm in his camp, okay? So there's something good coming. This new song isn't it. So I went back to play Digging in the Dirt, the big hit off of here, besides Steam. What a killer song. What a killer song. What a very subtle, sneaky arrangement of that song. And the layering of the sounds. This album is dope. Us by Peter Gabriel. And then I kept listening, you know. Secret World. Damn, what a killer. And Secret World Live is awesome. Yeah, I saw this tour out in Denver. So it was kind of nice to revisit because it's like I know that Peter Gabriel is a badass. You know, he can do whatever he wants, but I know he still has more great tunes in him, probably already recorded. We'll see. I was feeling true despair yesterday, especially after I saw reported that the Minneapolis shooting is going to be held. They're not going to allow local authorities to investigate. It's going to be handled by the FBI. It's going to be a cover-up already. It's a cover-up already. We're in hell, people. The administration lies. It's a nightmare. So I put on some Boris, the drone. It was appropriate for my angst yesterday. This is the 20th anniversary issue of Drone Evil, 2 LP version where you're supposed, if you can, play the 2 records simultaneously on 2 different systems. I didn't do that yesterday, but I enjoyed it. The thing about Boris that gets me, though, is that they purposely record the music the way they do. And I wish that I would frankly love to hear a high fidelity Boris album. They purposely make their recordings all fuzzy and just, just thick with information. And it's kind of like it's telling you have to come into the music. You have to come in here with us for this to work. We're not going to make it easy on you. Because I would clean up those drums. I would give it a big bass drum sound. I'd clean up those signals of the guitar. I know they do it on purpose. But it helped my soul. These are weird times, people. So, big surprise, people. This Brad Mehldau, I finished listening to the whole album. And one side is based on biblical text, Jacob's Ladder, David and Bathsheba, or something from the past. I can't remember it. It's I think it's biblical. This is musically fantastic, and this is the sort of thing I would have had no idea from what I had listened to by Brad Mehldau in the past. I really could not tell. I'm looking to see, what is this on the cover here? I could not tell from that stuff that he would be doing something like this. This is awesome. for you people that are looking for progressive rock. Seriously, this is what you're looking for. This is what I'm looking for. Jacob's Ladder. This is excellent. This came out in 2022. Had I known then, it would have been my album of the year. This is awesome. Brad Mehldau. So, I saw something online and it said, okay, give it another shot. So, I decided to go back and listen to the new Orb, Buddhist Hipsters. Thanks again for sending this to me. Because this is the limited edition. It comes with a signed print. Alex Patterson and the other cat. Sonically, this is enjoyable, but there is an aspect of them repeating themselves on here. And I said it before, but when I listened to it yesterday, it was like, surely they are aware that what this track is doing is almost coming off like a parody of them. They're parodying themselves. The Ricky Lee Jones track, Little Fluffy Clouds, they do one similar to that. Okay, but the vocal, the woman's voice and what she's talking about, it sounds like a joke. So, sonically, this is very enjoyable. They have great sonics. Their bass sounds and the way they layer things, it just gives it a real 3D effect. So that I like it about it. The title track Buddhist Hipsters, I think is kind of a throwaway. It's to me trying to be hip, current, and to me it's like, why did you do that? Trying to be relevant, I don't know what the fuck. I had bought this recently and found myself playing the whole thing again yesterday. Tallhurst, Budgie, Jackknife Lee, Los Angeles. Really like this. It kind of came across like, okay, seems like there's a bit of a concept going on here. Can't say exactly what it is, but on this listen, everything started to kind of like gel, like it's together. The use of the voices are like the guy from LCD Sound System, James Murphy, and then Bobby Gillespie. Their tracks, this is really good. Los Angeles by Lal Tallhurst, Budgie, and Jackknife Lee. I guess this came out a couple of years ago, did this? 2023. And then I like to watch the album review channel. The guy who talks a lot about prog, so he's just talking about Swedish prog. And I love that he digs deep. And so I learned stuff from him, but I'm also happy to know that most of what he shows I already knew about. I mean, I really did. So he talked about Ragnarok. They used to have 3 of their albums, and I don't know what happened to the 3rd one. I don't remember selling it. That is so weird to me about some of my records. There's another Weather Report record that I cannot find, and I have it. Where is it? But Fata Morgana. They're listed as prog, but this is beyond prog. It seems like there's a theatrical aspect to the music and the way it's presented. Interesting band. So I listened to this one, but I also have this one, Jarilar Imagen. I'm not sure I'm saying that right. I like that cover. Again, just by the pictures, it looks like, well, this is something associated with some sort of play or presentation. Yeah, music for the production. Billetern. Unique sound. Not specifically prog, though. Unique. I had talked about this, and I went ahead and played more of it. I love it. I love their Beach Boys-y harmonies, vocal harmonies. Merriweather Post Pavilion. This album is really quite good. Once again, the words. I don't. It's like the words. They really don't matter to me. It's the sound. Because as I pick up on little snatches of what they're talking about or singing about, it's like, whatever. That sound is awesome. Same with this. I went ahead and listened to the rest of this, the rest of Editors, and I enjoyed it. But after a while, the words were getting on my nerves. It's all all these songs about the difficulty of being in love, or the difficulty of having sex partners. That's why I'm single, because it's like I've really never had a very positive experience with having a girlfriend. Very confusing and weird. I'll say we, but it's I want the intimacy, but I'm not interested in what that person's thinking, really. Not really. Just leave me alone. I want to get up in my business. I don't like that. So, sonically, this again is very good, but all these songs about the difficulty of loving someone, well, just fuck it. Stop. I listened to side 2 of this. The hobo thing, U.S. Highball. It's magical. It's magical. It's just so... It's just so real. So real. Naked. It feels really naked. Yeah, besides working on music, these records have been getting played. I listened to most of the Redbone. And this album, I hear where they were trying to hit somewhere, trying all these different styles, including R&B soul ballads, which they can do, which they could. The brothers could sing. I'm calling them brothers. I'm Choctaw. I don't know what tribe they are, but we're all one tribe, all of us. So this was really enjoyable. It's like, damn, they had the goods. They had the goods. And then I went ahead and played this, Easy Action. Alice Cooper started off really weird. What the fuck was going on with these guys at the beginning? Killer, crazy shit. Shoe salesman. Still no air. The words are bizarre. Downright psychedelic. Early Alice Cooper is killer. As far as this being, and I still have the album Killer by Alice Cooper. I love it. And then, is there anything else? Okay. I listened to some more than Andy McKay. Fuck that album. Yuck. Good God. The last thing I'll show is it was time to revisit this. I have a feeling Porcupine Tree is up to something. I do. So after what I had talked about with Dead Wing and Fear of a Blank Planet recently, I said, let's revisit this. Maybe I was being too harsh on it. Closer Continuation, their last studio album. This is good, but I think that he could still do something that really hits. This is okay. It doesn't hit like Dead Wing or Fear. I think they can do it again. I do. Steven Wilson is pretty brilliant, but with those cats with him, Richard Barbieri and Gavin Harrison, come on, they should be able to do something. So that's where it's at. We're going into the weekend. Hell of a way to start the new year, huh? Thanks a lot, GOP, you fucking horrible people. And if you notice, Trump and his people have no intention of changing their tune. They don't give a fuck about us. They're going to lie and gaslight and do whatever they want. They don't give a shit about America. All in it for the business, all for the money, all for the oil, all for the rich people. It's horrible. And I see people talking about it's going to get better. No, it's not. It's going to get worse. So play your records, people. Play your instruments. Draw, paint, write poetry. Love your partner. Love your family. Love your children. Love yourself. In this, we're in hell. Okay, let's make it a good one. Family, always thinking of you. Love you all. And of course, talk to me. Okay, hold on. Let's look at the comments. I didn't think there was anything I needed to respond to, but I enjoy hearing your thoughts, people. And I'm not surprised that some of you couldn't sleep either a couple nights ago. And this person says, in response to my video yesterday about um, politics, he says they probably despise each other too. Can you imagine behind the scenes? I agree. These people just use each other. They hate themselves, so they hate each other. They just use each other, and so we don't even count. That's why it's so heinous, so heinous. So the other thing is the thing that I'm really thinking has been the case is that the trolling that I've experienced in recent years, some of that's probably bots. Like people have been telling me, those are probably bots. And then the others could be paid, or paid idiots because that's what's been discovered. That a lot of the accounts that have been flooding social media, pro GOP, the accounts are all foreign actors. These people are so low down and just, so focused on what they want, they don't realize they're hurting everyone, quite literally. It's a heartbreaker, it is. So let the music play.